Are you trying to figure out how to record an accordion at home? This video is for you. Whether you're trying to get the best possible audio or you're just trying to get your cell phone recordings to sound a little bit better, I have something in here for everybody. Whether you're trying to spend money or save money, this video is for you. Stay tuned. How to record an accordion at home. This is a topic with a lot of mystery surrounding it, and if you're not familiar with microphones and interfaces and all of that, this video is for you. I have solutions that will be easy. I have solutions that are proper and done the right way. Like all things, there's a right way to do things and a wrong way to do things, and I'm no expert. I know all this stuff just by figuring it out of necessity, but I'm sure there's a lot of you out there that might be watching this that can share from their own experience. So I'd like to open up the comments. If at any point in the video you have something that you'd like to chip in, please share it down in the comments, and we're all going to learn from this together. So without any further ado, let's go into method number one. Method number one is the portable handy recorder. This right here is the Zoom H1 Essential. I chose this one to go over because of the 32-bit float audio. This allows you to record at various levels of playing, and you won't lose any audio. You won't be playing too loud, you won't be playing too quiet, and you don't have to set the levels. It records in a spectrum, and it retains the information. If you were to push it or pull it in terms of making it louder or quieter, it's all there, and when you go to edit it, it's all there. So this is a great unit to have. Some of the pros of this is that it's cheap. Something like this is about $100. There's other ones made by Tascam. These are relatively easy to use. They're pretty straightforward. We have these two stereo mics on the top, and that can give you a double range of possibilities. You could, of course, use these two mics to record in tandem, which is called mono, or you can use them separately, left and right, for stereo. And I think that's a great feature to have in such a small little unit like this. Another pro would be if you're just sitting at home and you're playing and you have this idea and it comes to you and it's like, oh, I want to get that. Hit record, just set it up. It doesn't have to be perfect. It'll get it, and then you have it for forever. So I think this is a great tool for not only recording, but documentation of your progress. So great to have. Some of the cons with a unit like this is that it's a little bit limiting, at least when we step into the other category of how to record. You're going to find that this is a little bit limiting. Another disadvantage is that although the quality of the sound is good, I think it can be better with a proper setup. And another thing is, if you buy this, you can't really build upon it. You can't really build this out, and you're left with a unit that you might not use after you invest more. So that's something to consider. The items that you'll need in order to record with this is obviously the recorder itself. You're going to need some AA batteries. You'll need an SD card. You'll of course need an accordion to go with that. You're also going to need a tripod, some headphones to monitor your levels. You'll also need a computer for editing, and I'm going to be using Audacity for this section of the video. I figure we could go over a nice free option. That way you can use this on Mac, Windows, whatever your heart desires. It's free and it's great. It's a great application for being free. I will go over using Logic in the next portion of this video, so we got a little bit of something for everybody. And something that everybody can keep in mind is sound isolation. Generally speaking, you want a nice dead sound where you can add effects later. Not everybody's going to have these big panels like this, but you can always use a sound blanket or a moving blanket. Generally, any blanket's going to work. Grab some clamps, and you can hang that up around the area that you're going to be recording in, and that's going to dampen the sound, it's going to dampen the reflections, and it just makes everything sound a little bit better. So try that out and let me know what you think. And before we begin, you have to format the SD card. So go ahead and hit Menu, go down to SD card and hit Enter, and you'll want to format the SD card. Hit Execute, give it a few seconds and it'll format. So we're good to go. Another thing to keep in mind is this recorder has a 1/4-inch thread on the bottom, which is perfect for tripods, but when it comes to mic stands, it's going to be different. They have bigger threading on it, so it's not going to be great for this type of recorder. You will want some kind of tripod attachment, so generally that's going to be better. Okay, now that everything is set up, we got the headphones in so we can monitor what we sound like. It's important to experiment with how you want your accordion to sound. Do you want a little bit more bass? Do you want a little bit more keys? Playing around with it is really just going to help you understand where everything sits in the mix, and having a good pair of headphones is really going to help. So let's just experiment for a little bit and see what comes of it. So I'm finding about a foot away sounds good. Pointing both of these capsules more so at the grill right here, and keeping everything kind of coming to a point. I have the accordion coming to a point right here, the microphone's coming to a point, and kind of just connecting that line where I think that sounds good. Depending on how you play, if you like a little bit more bass, I would probably aim a little bit more towards the badge or even the bellows. That'll balance it out, giving you a little bit more left hand. So I'm going to noodle around a bit, and then we'll get a good recording that we can compare against the other setups. I don't know. What do you guys think? Does that sound good? What I'm hearing in the headphones sounds great. Of course, I'm hearing it with the accordion, so it's not going to be truly what you're experiencing through some speakers. But I'm going to turn this now off to the side, and I'm going to move it just a little bit closer to the grill. And what's going to happen here is now we're going to get more of a stereo spread with the lower part of the keyboard coming through the left side, and then the higher part of the keyboard coming through the right headphone. And as you play up and down, it's going to have more of a dynamic sound. Maybe you want that, so that's something to consider. If you are picking up one of these tripods, make sure that it has the articulation where you can take a ball head like this and turn it on its side. Typically with cameras, you could take a camera and shoot it like this on a tripod. Having this ball head allows you to shoot vertically. Having something like this attached to it, it gives you the option of doing more of a left and right on the keyboard. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm going to take this audio recording and put it in the computer, mess around with a little bit of compression, some reverb, and see what we come up with. Before we get into that, let's go over method number 2, which is using an audio interface and a computer. As you can see, this is a lot more setup, it's a lot more work, but this is the right way to do it. This is something that allows you to connect your instrument to the computer. You would think it'd be more straightforward, but it's not. You actually need this box which takes the signal, levels it out, and puts it into what's called a digital audio workspace, a DAW. And in that DAW, which is just an app where you edit audio, in that app you're able to record, edit, build songs, all of that. And if you're doing just basic recording, this might be a little bit too much for you. And for a lot of people, this can kind of scare you away from the idea of recording. So this is a little bit more for someone who wants to take that next step, isn't afraid to invest a little bit of money, and also invest the time that it takes to learn how to use this. So it's not impossible, and in this video we'll figure out how to go through this together, but you'll want to keep in mind that if you buy this once with 2, you might be upgrading. That's what I had to do. I had to upgrade after getting this. This only has 2 XLRs. This is the Focusrite Scarlett 4-in-4. This is kind of limiting because if you're using several microphones, you're left with only 2 XLRs. Microphones use XLRs to go in, and you're kind of left with just 2. So you might have to step up to the model with 4 XLR inputs on the front, and that'll get you by some of the other scenarios that we're going to go over in this video. Some of the pros of the audio interface is that it's high quality. You're going to get a very clean audio signal, and especially with Focusrite, the preamps that are built into this, they sound great in comparison to other audio interfaces that I've used before. Focusrite definitely is the way to go. You're also going to be able to customize this and expand. If you get an extra microphone, or if you want to use several microphones, you can do that. If you play with another musician, a guitar player, and you want to record something at the same time, you might want to get something a little bit more beefier than just the 2 XLRs, and for someone starting out, this is great. Some of the cons are that it's a little bit more expensive. It's a lot of bit more expensive, because not only are you getting the audio interface, but you got to buy microphones, you got to buy XLR cables, you have to get stands. It becomes this big production, and with that it becomes a little bit more cumbersome. So it's not always the easiest thing to do, and it does kind of require more. For this, you're going to need an audio interface, a computer and DAW such as Logic, 2 mic stands, 2 pencil condenser mics, 2 XLR cables, of course an accordion, headphones, and eventually some good monitors. Alright, so we have everything set up for the most part. Right now we have our right hand microphone right here. The left hand microphone is behind me. I position this mic a little bit closer to the back side of the bass side. It's not going to be dead on, because these buttons, no matter what accordion you get, there's going to be more mechanical sound with these bass buttons that you can avoid if you mic it from kind of like the side or even behind it. So the relationship of these 2 mics is going to move once I sit down. I'm going to dial it in further, but basically we have the microphone XLR cable going into channel 1, the bass side going into channel 2, and then we have the headphones so I can monitor everything as I play. So I'm going to be using Logic Pro. Logic is for Mac computers. This can be applied to pretty much any audio workspace. Basically what we're going to want to do is start a new project, and we're going to want to open up the audio track with a mic or line. You'll see that I have the inputs set to 1 and 2. That's going to be the same for both of these. And one thing to keep in mind is you might want to go up into your sound preferences and just double check to make sure that your audio interface is connected. So we have that connected. You'll want to go up here into our settings and go down to audio, and just make sure that your audio interface is connected to both the input and output. We're going to be monitoring through the headphone out of the interface, so input, output in the interface, and we should be good to go. Now that we have that set, we just want to test our microphones, and if you see right here, as I'm testing them, it's not showing up. So you want to make sure that your audio interface has the 48 volts selected, and that'll allow you to put power to your microphones. And then we'll adjust the levels right here once I'm set up. We have that set up. As we can see right here in our workspace, we have a signal going to each side. So we're good to go. Basically, a good rule of thumb is you don't want your levels to be peaking like this. As you can see right here, that would be too loud. I'm just tapping on the microphone, but generally you want your levels, if you look down here, you want your levels to kind of be around -12 decibels. That way you can have some play, whether you need to bring it up or bring it down, but play your song like you're going to, check your levels, and at the loudest point of the song, you probably don't want to be going past -6. But stay around -12 and you should be good to go. I'm going to strap up and dial everything in, and then we'll do some recording. One thing I want to mention is you need to download the specific driver for this interface on your computer. It might work out of the box just a little bit, but it's going to be limited. You're going to want to be able to assign where each of these channels are going. So you're going to want to go on to Focusrite's website, download the specific driver for your interface, whatever generation it is. Mine is the 4i4 3rd gen, and we're going to download it for Mac. Once you go through the downloading process, you can open up the app, and you'll see right here, I'm only getting one signal. When I hit this other microphone right here, we're not getting anything. So what you might need to do is add another channel. We're going to add 2, and already, yeah, we can hear it now. So make sure you do that so you can monitor everything and get everything sounding good, but that'll allow you to really get the most out of this. There's settings in here that you can only access through the app, so make sure you got that. I'm going to put on my accordion, we'll tweak the levels, get everything sounding right, and record. Okay, so now that we have everything set up, we have the levels good to go, we're basically ready to record. One thing I want to remind you of is, are you going to be adding this to other elements? Does this need to be played to a metronome? A metronome is going to help you stay on beat. Is there a backing track or other things that you're going to be recording? Chances are if you have a song that you're working on with other elements, you're already going to have this opened up. This is just the recording aspect, but it's something to keep in mind. So if you have to do some research, search out how to play in Logic with a metronome. I'm sure you'll be able to find some stuff, but this is just going to be a standard recording. So I'm going to record some stuff right now. We're going to hit that record button and let's just see what happens. I don't know. All right, I'm burnt out. I'm done with this. Something's got to be good in there. Okay, so all done. Let's stop the recording. We're good. Yeah, I'm going to start editing these, and I'll give you a little bit of commentary on my thought process through the editing process of these tracks. Now that we've recorded our audio, what we're going to do is edit it on the computer. I would recommend using headphones both with editing, but also watching this video. You're really going to hear the nuances of what we're going over, so toss on a pair of headphones if you can, and you'll really be able to follow along. The first thing we're going to do is pop out our SD card and upload the files from this into the computer. If you have a micro SD card, it probably came with an adapter. Plug it into that and plug it into your SD card slot. And if you don't have something like that, you could use one of these adapters that'll allow you to plug in. Basically, you're going to take the files from that and drag it somewhere on the desktop or in a folder, maybe in your projects folder. But the setup is going to look something like this. And I have this file right here that will drag in to Audacity. So right here, I already know that my recording starts somewhere over here, so I'm going to click here. And if you pay attention to this cursor, this is the selection tool. If we go up here, these are a couple of our tools that we have, and make sure that your selection tool is set. And we go over here, and to hit play, we're going to hit the space bar. You can also click this play button right here, but it's just easier to use some of these shortcuts. So hitting the space bar. All right, so we're set up over there. I want to zoom in now so I can see this better. You want to select the area you want to zoom into just by placing that playhead, and you can click this zoom button, or you can press Command 1. Command 1 is going to help you zoom in. On a Windows computer, I think it's Option 1, but on Mac, it's Command 1 to zoom in, and then it's Command 3 to zoom out. So we want to find where the section starts, we want to select, I think it's right here. So this is where it starts, and I want to delete everything before it. So again, with this selection tool, you want to click and drag everything before it. So clicking and dragging, I recorded for quite a while, so you're going to be here for a while if you do it this way. I still have this clicked and held. I'm also going to press Command 1 while clicking, Command 3 while clicking and holding, and this will allow me to zoom out, and I now have selected everything before, and all I have to do is press the delete button and it snaps it right back to the beginning. So we're going to zoom right back in. We're going to select over here Command 1 as we zoom in, and I know that the file ends right here at this little blip. So we're going to select all the way to the end and delete, and now we have selected the area in which we're going to edit. First thing we're going to do is add some compression. We can see right here in the highs and the lows, it's almost clipping. So a way that you can preview this is right here in this bar. You're going to see your waveforms when you hit play, and if it goes too far, it'll hit red and it'll remain red, and that'll let you know, hey, you got to make some tweaks. Your audio's clipping and it's going to sound like crap. So what we're going to do is hit play, let it play through this, and then just pay attention right here. Right there on the right channel, when it got to this point right here, it actually clipped, and we want to prevent that from happening. So what we're going to do is add compression, which will take off some of the louder parts, and it'll keep the lower parts intact. In certain cases, you can use compression to even bring up the lows. But what we're going to do is try and address these higher points and just bring those down a bit. So what we're going to do is go into Effect, Volume and Compression, and Compressor. And something that we've run into a lot with Audacity is you have to make sure that your channel is selected. And we can select our clip right here by clicking this top bar, or we can also click in this area and it selects it blue, so we know that this is the clip that we're going to apply the effect to. So volume and compression, compressor, and you can go through and mess with these if you want and try all the different presets, but what I'm going to do is just gentle, just a nice gentle preset. So what I'm going to use is gentle. Gentle is basically going to gently take off those tops, and keep an eye right here on this and this right here when we hit apply. So you can see it brought everything down, and if you want to toggle back and forth to see what happened, you can press Command Z to undo it, or you can press Command Shift Z right after it to redo it. So you can toggle back and forth and see what's actually happening. So we've applied now the compression. The next thing we're going to do is go into EQ, and we're going to apply a graphic EQ. Right now I have a preset set up. Generally you're going to open it up and it'll be flat all the way across, but you can mess with the different presets. Bass is going to bring up the lows, and just to give you a sense of what it sounds like, this is before we did any EQ. And then I'm going to apply a bass boost. You can hit preview right here. Already you can hear the warmth coming out of the bass. That sounds a lot better. Just for demonstration purposes, we're going to select treble boost. This is bringing up the highs. This is basically a graph of your low ends and your high ends. This is now bringing up just the treble side, and I don't think this sounds very good, but this is just for demonstration purposes. It's very clear, very crisp, sharp, kind of tinny. I don't think that sounds very great. So what I like to do is try and find something in the middle. And the way that I've set up a preset. I start with the bass boost, and then I bring some of these levels up, starting at about 3.15K. Then we have 4, 5, and 6.3. I've messed around with this a little bit, and I've already saved a preset. I've already done that, so mine looks like this. I titled it H1E, and those numbers right here at 3.15, it's 6.1 decibels, 7.9 decibels, 8.1, and 10. There's no right or wrong way to do this. This is just what I have set up, and this allows the warmth and the fullness of the bass to still be there, and then it cuts through on the highs, and you're able to hear the keyboard side just a little bit more cleaner. So if we click preview, I think that sounds great, so we're going to hit apply. And you can see that it already kind of messed with our channels a little bit. It made everything a little bit more intense. So just again toggling through the undo and redo, we can see what happens. So when I click play, we want to monitor our levels. And it didn't clip. We're not seeing that red arrow or that red indicator right here. And it didn't clip. We're not seeing that red indicator right here when it got real loud. So the compression worked. The EQ is now made everything a little bit more full. The very last thing we're going to do is apply some reverb. So we go to Effect, Delay and Reverb. You can mess with these a bunch. There's different presets where you can make your reverb ring up. Basically, reverb is what's happening to the audio after you listen to it. Like if you were to sit there and play your accordion in a sound dead room, you play the sound and it falls short. With reverb, it kind of rings out a little bit. If you were to do that in like a cathedral, that's going to sound a lot different than just a small sound dampened like living room or something like that. So you can mess with these. What I think sounds great is modern, and I'll click apply and just listen to how it sounds with and then without. It just gives it more presence. I'm going to hit undo, and you can kind of see what happens right here. This is where it like rings out, and you can see that it added a little bit more in this spot that it's basically ringing out. So if we take that off, listen to it without, and pay attention right after this quick little bass pull. And then I'll apply it again. Whoop, go back, okay. And it's now applied again. It just kind of breathes a little bit, and I think that sounds great. So the very last thing we're going to do, we're going to go up to this tool panel, and we're going to click the envelope tool. And what we want to do is fade this out, because without, if we listen to it, how it ends, it's pretty, yeah, it just kind of comes to a halt, and that doesn't sound good. We want to kind of fade it out. So we click this envelope tool, and there's a little caveat with working with this. You can't just click wherever, because if you, let's say you click right here above this line, it now reset that blue line, and it reset our levels. So as you're doing this, keep your hand over Command Z and just be prepared to undo it as you dial it in. But we want to start it right about here, and we want our two arrows to line up somewhere in the middle of this without affecting the level. So right there you can see I nailed it. If I was a little bit high, it brings it up. If I was a little bit low, it brings it down. But we want to find that right there. And the second point is right here, and we're going to bring that down. Let's see here. And we just click like that and bring it down So we bring both of those two levels. You can see that I drag right here, and then again I'll grab this one and then bring it down to 0. And this will allow the song to fade out. So again, we're going to go back to our selection tool and Great. So that so it comes to a nice close. We could, if we wanted to, add it in the beginning, but you kind of get the idea. So last thing we're going to do is export. We click here to select our track. We go to File, Export Audio, and Export to Computer. And you just want to make sure that when you export it, I like to do WAVE. That doesn't seem to compress it too much. I keep it at 48 and 24. I use a lot of my recordings for video, and if you are pairing your audio to video, 48 and 24 is going to be your best bet. There's some debate between all of that, and you can go online and kind of read up on it. But if you're even going to be putting this on Spotify or something, like a recording for Spotify, Spotify allows 48 and 24. CDs are mastered at 44.1 and 16. Just something to look at and consider, but I stick with these settings, and that seems to be great. You also want to make sure that current selection is clicked, so it's only going to export what's selected. And you also want to make sure that you have selected the clip before you clicked export. Make sure everything's highlighted, and then you're good to go. We'll title this H1E, and this recording was the XY vertical. All right, and we click export, and just like that, we did it. We exported a clip out of Audacity. So the next thing we're going to do is focus on Logic. So we edited the easy way in Audacity. Now we're going to edit the hard way in Logic. So right here we have 2 tracks that I've recorded. I know that I got one take that I liked over here. So we're going to zoom in by clicking this over here, or you can press the Option button and scroll over on your mouse. I think you could do it on the trackpad if you're editing in on like a MacBook or something like that. Another thing we're going to do is expand this so we can see everything a little bit better. And zooming right in, right here we have some snaps. I know that that's where a good take was, so we can cut by Command T, and I believe I started somewhere around here. Okay, and Command T. Oh, we gotta select this one, Command T. Okay, and then we can delete this. We'll zoom out and delete this other one. We'll bring this over. So we want to split this track. We recorded this stereo on one track, but the left and the right is the left mic and the right mic. So to separate that, we hold Option and we drag down, and we've now duplicated it, and we can select one and go over right here and click and hold. We'll select left and we'll select right for the other one. And let's just mute one, listen to it. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Let's hear how it sounds. Okay, so this is our bass track. Let's double click and call that bass, and we'll call this keyboard. And we'll take the keyboard and drag it on top. I typically like to have the lower sound at the bottom. We can press the X button to bring up the mixer or hide the mixer. Right now we need to add some compression. So let's focus on just the keyboard. We'll mute the bass, and we will go to Audio Effects and Compressor. That's in my recent, but if you're looking for it, it's Dynamics, Compressor, Mono. And a good preset, we're just going to kind of burn through this a little bit quickly. We can do classic overcrusher, and we just want to pay attention to our levels, at least where it gets the highest. We want to see that we're getting somewhere around -6, -3. We don't want to go past 0. Yeah, that's already doing too much compression, so let's bring this knob right here back up. I think right about here should be good. Let's see what happens now. Okay, yeah, that's good. That's all we really need to worry about. A quick way to copy and paste it. We will press the X button to bring up the mixer. As we select between these two, you can see right here, these are the two channels that we have. So we want to copy what we have from here over to here. We press Option, we grab it in the middle, and then drag it over. And now we have the same type of compression taking place on the bass. But let's hear how that sounds real quick. Yeah, that sounds good. We'll do another level at the end, but let's go back with keyboard enabled. We're going to go under compressor and we're going to add a EQ. This is in my recent, but if you're looking for it, it's EQ, channel EQ, mono. And this, we'll get rid of the mixer. This brings up another diagram similar to what we had in Audacity. Lows are going to be over here, and the highs are going to be over here. This is just a much more advanced, sophisticated layout as opposed to Audacity's. But since we're on the keyboard, I found a good preset with voice, and we'll do vocal presence. The keyboard is kind of often replicating a vocal melody, so I think this sounds great. Typically, this is going to be your higher sounds. If we hit play, you can hear it getting like really sharp. I think we can just get rid of that. This red right here, we're cutting some of the low ends, and to toggle on and off, we can press this right here. I want to get rid of some of the low ends just because I do want to isolate the keyboard side and then kind of isolate more of the bass side. So this sounds pretty good. You can also get more of like a tone chambered accordion by taking some of these highs and bringing it down. I'll let it play and I'll drag that around so you can hear it. Yeah, so that's pretty good right there. I'm going to now focus on the bass. We're going to enable the bass, disable the keyboard. And for this one, I'm going to do the same thing. Click over here. We're not going to copy and paste it. We're going to do our own type of EQ that's going to be different from the keyboard. I found a good preset under guitar and bass boost. So we want to focus with this orange frequency here at 88 Hertz. And if we bring it up a little bit, it's going to sound pretty nice and full. If we want to get rid of some of the higher parts where you might slightly hear that keyboard coming in, you could probably mess around with some of these up here, but I don't think that's necessary. I think this is good for right now for demonstration purposes. After that, we're going to select keyboard. Make sure you can hear the keyboard and that you disable the bass. We're going to do silver reverb. This could be found down here under reverb, silver reverb. And a good preset for that is room. And the only thing that you really need to focus on is the reflectivity. If this is lower, it's not going to ring out as much. If you bring it up, it's going to ring out and you'll hear it kind of carry a little bit longer. So let's mess with that. Yeah, if we bring it down, I don't know. I think the reflectivity is good at about 45. I think that's good enough. This can also be copied right over to bass, so we're going to bring up our mixer with X, option button, and drag this right over, and we're good to go. Last thing, we want to just check our levels and make sure everything sounds good. So let's hear how it sounds once it gets a little bit louder. Yeah, I think that sounds pretty good. We can keep an eye right over here. Some of these higher peaks is where it's going to be the loudest, and we just want to avoid clipping. We don't want to get into that red zone. So you can keep an eye up here or keep an eye down here. But let's see, this looks pretty high. Okay, yeah, I think that all sounds good. Last thing we're going to do is add a fade at the end. It kind of carries out. Okay, there's a little bit of a pop over there. Let's actually go back and yeah, we're gonna just kind of trim it right here, right there, and right there with the Command T. We can delete these. And going back to our fade tool, all we have to do is just click and drag over, click and drag over. Perfect. All right, so that's pretty much it. Last thing we're going to do is select both of these, shift click, and then click and drag over from the far left all the way past your track, right about there. And we just go to File, Export, Selection as Audio File, save it to where you want to save it, and default settings are going to be good. Wave is perfect, 24 is great, and we just click Export. All right, so that's it. We basically edited everything in Logic now. I think we should A/B test it real quick and see if doing it the correct way in Logic is better than doing it the easy way. I'm curious to see what this is going to sound like. I didn't quite play the exact same thing in both of these tracks, but let's just see, let's see how it sounds. So yeah, what do you guys think? Listening back to it, I think they both sound great. Different, of course. They're mastered and mixed in a different application, and we did different things to them, but I think generally speaking, we now have an easier way to record the accordion at home. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, click that like button so more accordionists can see it. I'd like to shout out my Patreon members real quick. Thank you for supporting the channel. I've been really enjoying making these videos for you, and these last few have been really special as I'm getting back into it again. So all thanks to these guys right here. If you guys would like to be a part, that'd be awesome. Love to have you. I'm going to be giving away an audio recorder on my Patreon, so sign up over there. And yeah, until next time, peace.